Hello readers, it's Sasha, and today I am going to be playing my TBR game. So if you guys are new to this channel, I essentially play a game called Goodreads Chooses My TBR, where I just go through all of the books on my want to read list on Goodreads, throw that number in a random number generator, and the first 5 books that I pick, or I guess the first 5 numbers that I pick, correspond to the books that I read for the month of July. I love when they snuggle. Oh, but it's a little too hot to be laying directly on his head. I also have a wild card number, so I put the numbers 0 through 9 through the same random number generator, and the number that comes up first is my wild card number. And if any of the 5 picks that I choose throughout this video end in that wild card number, then I have to add an additional book to the TBR. I feel like these games are good in helping me figure out what I'm going to read for the month, but I don't always stick to my TBR, so I'm gonna try my hardest to stick to the books that I choose and the books that I want to read this month. I'm not a mood reader, so this is never something that truly is that big of a deal. I'll just read what this tells me to read, and I like the idea of not having to make that decision because I don't make decisions well. So if a random number generator situation can make the decision for me, then that's great. But essentially, I think we should just dive right in. I have the 5 books, hopefully, fingers crossed it's only 5, on here that I'm gonna read. And then if I don't end up landing on any books from my own TBR, I have a list of my own TBR that I haven't read yet. I throw that into a random list randomizer and then pick 2 books off of that list as well to read. Plus, I also want to talk about the Winer's Book Club pick, which I think will probably just move over into July if I'm being honest with you. And I want to chat about a vlog that I'm doing. I'm not going to give you the theme, but I'm going to give you the books. So you may be able to guess the theme, and it might be fun to guess in the comments below if you feel like you understand what the theme is, because that'll be fun. You'll probably be wrong, but that's just fine. So let's just dive right in. So I have my random number generator. I'm going to put the numbers 0 through 9 into the random number generator, and I'm going to pick my wild card number now. 8. Okay, perfect. So if I land on any numbers, or if I land on any books, if I land on any numbers that end in the number 8, I have to add more books to my TBR. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and I think it's frying my brain cell one by one. My brain cell. Oh my god. I think it's frying every brain cell I have one by one, but clearly there's not many left. So that's fine. Who cares really? Okay, so I have 2,153 books on my want to read list on Goodreads, which, considering where I started 2 years ago, I think it was for May that I started doing this back in 2020. 4 years ago. Oh my god, this was 4 years ago. I started doing this 4 years ago, and I had 500 books on my want to read list, and now I have 2,153 because I don't have self-control or self-respect, I fear, but that's fine. So I'm just gonna put that number in my random number generator, and I think we should pick the first number now. So it's 1,236. Okay. What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods. Okay, so this is a series of Flesh and Bone. It is a fantasy romance with fae. For nearly 400 years, the Veil has protected us from the fae of Alfheim. In their absence, our lives have shifted from decadence and sin to survival and virtue under the guidance of the new gods. I've spent my entire life tending to the gardens next to the boundary between our worlds, drawn to the shimmering magic like a moth to the flame. Then we died on their swords. Oh, I missed a whole sentence. Once we'd worshipped them as gods. Blum. Then we died on their swords. All of that changes the day the veil shatters, unleashing the fae upon our world once again. The magic of fairy marks those of us they mean to take, but the Mistguard protecting Nothrek will kill us all before they let the fae have us. There's no choice but to flee everything I've ever known, not if I want to live to see my 21st birthday as a free woman. Now they'll claim what's theirs. But before they capture me, Calum saves me from the wild hunt. Fae marked and on the run, he is able to fight back in ways I only dream of. From tentative alliance to all-consuming passion, our bond strengthens as the fae close in and evil lurks ever nearer. With my life on the line, he is everything I shouldn't dare to want and a distraction I can't afford. I can't seem to stay away, not even with something greater on the line. My heart. Okay, bestie. This book is intended for readers who are 18 and older. It contains mature language, graphic violence, and explicit content with darker elements. This is book 1 in a series and ends in a cliffhanger. No! For me, this is good because this is giving Kindle Unlimited. I don't know if it's on Kindle Unlimited, but that's what it's giving. And I don't prefer ebooks, but I like ebooks. I have a mixed relationship because I prefer physical books because I find just reading a physical book just gives me more happiness. But ebooks are so much easier for me to fly through because I can read literally anywhere. I can read in the dark. I can read in my car. I can read literally anywhere. Not when I'm driving, obviously. But like if I'm just like waiting for like Noah to come out of a store or something, I can just like scroll through my phone and be reading a book. So for me, I'm pretty excited for this. I don't love that it ends on a cliffhanger, so that's gonna be rough for me, but I actually do think this is gonna be quite good. I am looking forward to this. I do love a good fae romance, and this seems pretty popular, but also not one that I've really heard much about, so I feel like there's gonna be a good healthy mix there. Alrighty, so we have picked our first book. Let's pick book number 2. 1100 even. Okay, friends. Okay, I got Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly DeVos. This is a fantasy horror sci-fi situation, and the cover's sending me. Okay, so it's a YA thriller about a kick-ass group of teens battling a ravenous group of zombies. In the next few hours, one of 3 things will happen. We'll be rescued? Unlikely. We'll freeze to death? Maybe. We'll be eaten by thin and athletic zombies. Odds? Excellent. Vivian Ellenshaw is fat, but she knows she doesn't need to lose weight, so she's none too happy to find herself forced into a weight loss camp's van with her ex-best friend Allie, a meathead jock who can barely drive, and the camp owner's snobby son. And when they arrive at Camp Featherlight at the start of the worst blizzard in the history of Flagstaff, Arizona, it's clear that something isn't right. Vi barely has a chance to meet the other members of her pod, all who seem as unhappy to be at Featherlight as she does, when a camper goes missing down by the lake. Then she spots something horrifying outside in the snow, something that isn't human. Plus, the camp's supposed miracle cure for obesity just seems fishy, and Vi and her fellow campers know they don't need to be cured of anything. Even worse, it's not long before Camp Featherlight's luxurious bungalows are totally overrun with zombies. What starts out as a mission to unravel the camp's secrets turns into a desperate fight for survival, and not all of the Featherlight campers will make it out alive. That sounds insane! Okay, I'm such a big, like, campy girl. I love, like, campy, horror-y type things. Like, I don't love a lot of, like, scary horror movies, but, like, a good, like, campy horror movie, sign me up. This sounds incredible. It actually sounds really good. Okay, I'm actually kind of pumped about this. I think it'll be really good. I love it. Okay, first of all, plus size main character. Yes, always a big fan of that. Especially, I don't really feel like I got a whole lot of it growing up, and maybe that's just because I didn't really know where to look to find it, but I also feel like it just wasn't as common because being anything other than like society's version of beautiful was not really a thing. So I am just always down for a good plus size representation book, and then this one just sounds literally incredible. Okay. All right, I think we're good. I think that actually sounds really good. Okay, so we're off to a pretty good start. I'm actually really looking forward to all of these books. So let's pick our third book. 882. Thank God the 8s are at the beginning. Holy mother. My Darling Husband by Kimberly Bell. So this is definitely just mystery thriller. Love a good mystery thriller. Literally every mystery thriller I have on this Goodreads list starts off with, they were just a good couple, happy, ever-loving couple, and then boom, disaster strikes. And it's like, okay. Everyone is about to know what her husband isn't telling her. Jade and Cam Lasky are by all accounts a happily married couple with 2 adorable kids, a spacious home, and a rapidly growing restaurant business. But their world is tipped upside down when Jade is confronted by a masked home invader. As Cam scrambles to gather the ransom money, Jade starts to wonder if they're as financially secure as their lifestyle suggests, and what other secrets her husband is keeping from her. Cam may be a good father, a celebrity chef, and a darling husband, but there's another side he's kept hidden from Jade that has put their family in danger. Unbeknownst to Cam and Jade, the home invader has been watching them and is about to turn their family secrets into a public scandal. With riveting twists and a breakneck pace, My Darling Husband is an utterly compelling thriller that once again showcases Kimberly Bell's exceptional talent for domestic suspense. Okay, so I feel like every time I get a thriller on this list, I'm excited, because although thrillers to me, I don't always give them 5 stars, I always find them entertaining. I won't rate them 5 stars, chances are pretty good about that, but I will have fun. And that's really all that I care about. I don't really read for like reading the best books ever. Like, I just don't. I read to have fun. I read because it's a hobby and I enjoy it. So with that being said, this one sounds interesting to a degree. It sounds very generic, but it also is giving a little bit of a twist because there is like a celebrity aspect involved. So that might be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing if I end up reading this one, because I've been bad about reading them lately. It's fine. I'm looking forward to seeing if this is one that I can end up vibing with and seeing how they really go about doing this. So I'm interested. We'll see what happens. I think this is a good addition to the list because I don't think we have a thriller yet, but, well, we do, but like we don't have like an adult domestic thriller. We have like a zombie cool time. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, so we are on to book number 463. Okay. All right. So 463 is Confessions on the 745, which is another mystery thriller, but I own it. So that's amazing. Oh, I Could Kiss You on the Mouth. Selena Murphy is commuting home on the train when she strikes up a conversation with a beautiful stranger in the next seat. The woman introduces herself as Martha and soon confesses that she's being stuck in an affair with her boss. Selena, in turn, confesses that she suspects her husband is sleeping with the nanny. When the train arrives at Selena's station, the two women part ways, presumably never to meet again. Then the nanny disappears. As Selena is pulled into the mystery of what happened, and as the fractures in her marriage grow deeper, she begins to wonder who was Martha really, but she's hardly prepared for what she'll discover. Why do I feel I feel like I know what's gonna happen already? Okay, that's fine. Listen, I bought this book at a thrift store. I don't have super high expectations for it just because I doubt it's gonna be something that really like makes me happy, fills my soul with joy. I'm going to read it because I own it, and I think it's important to read my own TBR because this is getting out of hand. So I'm very glad that I'm going to read a book that I own. I'm just like, why did it have to be this one? But that's okay. That's okay. I think it's fine. So that's good. Okay. So we have one book left to pick for the Goodreads portion. So let's grab that one. 2025. That is perfect. Soul Print by Megan Miranda. This was from 2015, so this is going to be wild. I do like Megan Miranda, though. With the science of soul fingerprinting a reality, Alina Chase has spent her entire life in prison for the crimes her past self committed. In an attempt to clear her name, Alina unintentionally trades one prison for another when she escapes, aided by a group of teens whose intentions and motivations are a mystery to her. As she gets to know one of the boys, sparks fly, and Alina believes she may finally be able to trust someone. But when she uncovers clues left behind from her past life that only she can decipher, secrets begin to unravel. Alina must figure out whether she's more than the soul she inherited or if she's fated to repeat the past. Interesting, I think. I like Megan Miranda. I find that for her thrillers, I do actually end up enjoying. How many of hers have I read? I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I've read one, but I did really like it. It wasn't so much a thriller as more of like a mystery. I would not classify Fragments of the Lost as a thriller, even in the slightest, but I do like her writing. I find that she has a really good way of crafting stories and making a reader interested. So this could be good. Could it? We don't know. This is a very hit or miss interesting situation I feel like I've gotten myself into. I feel like we've gotten into a bit of a pickle. I do. I really, really do. That's okay. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get it from the library. If I can't get it from the library, I might just like delete it from my Goodreads list. But we'll see. Watch this be like my like top 3 books of the year. Like watch me eat this like cake. I would scream. So I only landed on one book that I actually own through Goodreads. So I'm only going to pick one book from my random list that we discussed at the beginning of books that I own that I'm going to read this month. So I've thrown them all in my list here. And when I randomize them, there's 320, which is disgusting. All right, let's see what I pick. 111. Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Okay, it's Killjoy by Holly Jackson. I have it literally right beside me. This is like the prequel, or like, I think, of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which was one of my favorite books of all time. I love it so much. So, Pippa Fitz-Amobi is not looking forward to her friend's 1920s themed murder mystery party, but when the game begins, Pip finds herself drawn into the make-believe world of intrigue, deception, and murder. As Pip plays detective, like she does, teasing out the identity of the killer clue by clue, the murder of the fictional Reginald Remy isn't the only case on her mind. Okay, so I've had this for a while. I do want to read it. I think it's gonna be good. I have high expectations because I freaking love A Good Girl's Guide to Murder with my whole heart and soul. I love the whole series, Good Girl, Bad Blood, As Good as Dead. I love it all. I love it all so much. And so this better be this better be the book to end all books. This better be the prequel. That makes me question how I could ever read another prequel that isn't this one. That's what this needs to be, in my opinion. I think I'm gonna stop the recording here, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about the other books I plan on reading this month. So, of course, I have to discuss a little bit about the book that we're maybe planning on reading for the Whiners, and that is To a Darker Shore by Leanne Schwartz. I didn't talk about this actually at all, because I didn't know what it was going to be, and I just put it in my last TBR video as like a picture, but this time I actually have a description for you, so let's go into that. Plain, poor, plus size, and autistic, Alesta grew up trying to convince her kingdom that she's too useful to be sacrificed like so many of their country's poor to appease the infernal monster across the poison sea in hell. When Alesta's attempt to prove herself with inventions goes awry, her best friend and heir to the throne, Kyrian, takes the blame, expecting leniency, and ends up tithed in her place. To end the sacrifices forever, Alesta plans to kill the monster that killed her friend. She travels to the depths of hell only to find Kyrian alive but monstrously transformed. There's no escaping hell or their deeper feelings for one another, and the farther they go, the closer they come to uncovering a truth about the tithings that threatens to invoke the wrath of not only monsters but the gods as well. So, a couple of things. We love a good plus-size story. Apparently, there's also some queer rep in this as well. I don't know where, but I'm excited to figure that out. And it's literally just a girl who probably looks like me going on a quest, and I think that that's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this. I will be reading it, even if it's not the Whiners book club pick anymore, which I don't think it won't be. Like, I feel like we're still gonna pick it. I will still be reading it. I'm definitely gonna try to still read it because I really love the idea of this book. I think it sounds incredible, and it's not popular at all. It has like barely any ratings. Really excited. Really, really excited. Now, let's talk about my little vloggy vlog that I'm gonna be doing. I have 3 books because I do feel like 4 has been ambitious for me. 4 has been taking up like my entire reading month, and I've just not really been able to vibe as well with the other picks. So I picked 3. I guess I really only have 3 to do this one anyway, but I think I'm gonna do 3 books in my vlogs moving forward, just because I think it's easier. The first one I have to talk about is Your Blood, My Bones, and this is by Kelly Andrew. Okay, this little sprayed edges moment. But this is the first book that I'm going to be reading. So what is it about, you may ask? That is a great question. Wyatt Westlock has one plan for the farmhouse she's just inherited: to burn it to the ground. But during her final walkthrough of her childhood home, she makes a shocking discovery in the basement. Peter, the boy she once considered her best friend, strung up in chains and left for dead. Unbeknownst to Wyatt, Peter has suffered hundreds of ritualistic deaths on her family's property. Semi-immortal, Peter never remains dead for long, but he can't really live either, not while he's bound to the farm. Locked in a cycle of grisly deaths and painful rebirths, there's only one way for him to break free. He needs to end the Westlock line. He needs to kill Wyatt. With Wyatt's parents gone, the spells protecting the property have begun to unravel, and dark, ancient forces gather in the nearby forest. The only way for Wyatt to repair the words is to work with Peter, the one person who knows how to harness her volatile magic. But how can she trust a boy who's sworn an oath to destroy her? When the past turns up to haunt them in the most unexpected way, they are forced to rely on one another to survive, or else tear each other apart. Yes, that sounds so good. I'm really looking forward to reading this. Definitely gonna be one of the probably first ones. Ooh, I think she's a ginger. This is just a good month for gingers. Yeah, so this is book 1 of the vlog. I don't know which order I'll be reading them in, but this is book 1, essentially. The next book that I'm planning on reading for this vlog is Song of the Six Realms by Judy I. Lin. Look how beautiful. Rose gold sprayed edges this time. And no, the theme is not I have sprayed edges books. That's not the theme, or else I wouldn't be pointing it out, because I'm not a silly goose. So, what is this book about? Zoo is a talented young musician, has no past and probably no future. Orphaned at a young age, her kindly poet uncle took her in and arranged for an apprenticeship at one of the most esteemed entertainment houses in the kingdom. She doesn't remember much from before entering the House of Flowing Water, and when her uncle is suddenly killed in a bandit attack, she is devastated to lose her last connection to a life outside of her indenture contract. With no family and no patron, Zoo is facing the possibility of a lifetime of servitude, playing the kin for nobles that praise her talent with one breath and sneer at her lowly social status with the next. Then one night, she is unexpectedly called to the garden to put on a private performance for the enigmatic Duke Meng. The young man is strangely kind and awkward for nobility, and surprises Zoo further with an irresistible offer. Serve as a musician in residence at his manor for 1 year, and he'll set her free of her indenture. But the Duke's motives become increasingly more suspect when he and Zoo barely survive an attack by a nightmarish monster, and when he whisks her away to his estate, she discovers he's not just some country noble. He's the Duke of Dreams, one of the divine rulers of the celestial realm. There she learns the sixth realms are on the brink of disaster, and incursions by demonic beasts are growing more frequent. The Duke needs Zeus' help to unlock memories from her past that could hold the answers to how to stop the impending war. But first, Zeus will need to survive being the target of every monster and deity in the six realms. I mean, hello? That sounds incredible. I am really looking forward to this one. This one has piqued my interest for a little bit of time now. I genuinely feel like it's going to be really good. I have high expectations, so I guess we'll see if they're met. But yeah, book number 2 I think will be good. And finally, the last book that I want to talk about is Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. Again, sprayed edges, also not a theme. 18-year-old Ai Hui Ying dreams of becoming a world-class engineer like her father. But after his sudden murder, her life falls apart. Left with only a journal of her father's engineering secrets and a jade pendant snatched from the assassin, a heartbroken Ying follows the trail to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild, a place that harbors her father's hidden past, determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune. Disguised as her brother, Ying manages to infiltrate the guild's male-only apprenticeship trial with the help of an unlikely ally, Aogaya Yang, the taciturn 8th Prince of the High Command. With her father's renown placing a target firmly on her back, Yang must stay one step ahead of her fellow competitors, the jealous guild masters, and the killer still hunting for her father's journal. Complicating everything is her increasingly tangled relationship with the prince, who may have mysterious plans of his own. The secrets concealed within the guild can be as deadly as the weapons they build. And with her life and future of her homeland at stake, Ying doesn't know who to trust. Can she avenge her father, even if it means going against everything he stood for? Or will she be next in the mastermind's line of fire? So that is all that I plan on reading this month. Let me know in the comments what you think that vlog is going to be about, because it's going to be a fun time. I think I'm going to make it a regular series, I feel, at least for a little while. I think I'm going to do that. But yeah, I'm super jazzed. I can't wait to just have a great time with this. And I feel like the books that I picked this month are very hit or miss. I think some of them are going to be great. I'm super excited for a few of them, but I feel like others are just kind of going to be like mid at best. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for tuning into this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I do post once a week, every Wednesday-ish when I can. But yeah, until next time, bye readers!